of starting without realizing I was starting. But Sarah and I were talking earlier today about having you on tonight, and we just both felt the same way, that we just want to get to know you tonight. We just want to hear you share your story and your heart. And we're really laid back here, and we like to just have chats. And so I just really want you to just pretend like we're in that living room together, all of us, and just share your story and share your heart with us a little bit. And then we're going to pick your brain. So will you just share your story with us?
Yes. Hi, friends. I'm so excited to be on. I feel super honored to be talking with you guys tonight and hanging out. This is so much fun. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Taylor Kaufmann, and I started the business 5.5 years ago. And, I want to tell you a little bit about my story just because I feel like there's going to be people on here that, might have gone what I went through, or maybe there's people on here that can relate to some of my struggles and some of my pain points. And I feel like a lot of my past has helped me be self aware of things that I had to grow through in the business in order to reach the levels of success that I have reached. And so I'm just going to kind of start from way back so you guys can kind of get to know me a little bit. So this is the unfiltered version, the unedited version of Taylor Kaufmann, okay? And I think sometimes we can look at top leaders and we can see their pretty pictures and their pretty posts, and we just think that they have it so easy, it comes so easy, they're so confident and all the things. And so I just want you to know I worked really hard to become confident in the person that I am today. So let me take you back. So I moved out when I was 17. I've always been a hard worker. I've always worked 2, 3 jobs, and I always just took care of myself. I provided for myself. And so looking back on my childhood and just like how my living situation was, I felt like I became very mentally tough as a child. And I became very just independent because I had no other choice to. Okay. And so I just had this mental toughness about me. And with that, I feel like I kind of struggled with relationships. I struggled with connecting. I struggled with trusting people. I actually struggled with loving, which sounds crazy, but I struggled with loving. And I only am telling you this now because a lot of those things are so important in a business like this. And I had to kind of uncover and dig deep with those things that came from my past in order to become the leader that I am today. So that's kind of who I was when I started the business. You guys, I was so broken. I had went through a really tough time. I was physically and sexually assaulted. I lost all self-worth. I struggled with anxiety. I had PTSD. I had flashbacks. I just really had lost myself. I had no sense of purpose. I just constantly was like broke and working and struggling through nursing school, and I was just trying to like get through school. Okay, this was like my last semester of nursing school, and I was just like, if I can just hang on and get through this last semester, then I can breathe, right? Because I thought I was going to be a nurse. I thought I was going to have like a steady income and like life would just be easier, right? And so I started this business right before my last semester of nursing school, and I had no clue what I was getting myself into, you guys. And let me tell you, like from my past, I lost my faith with God, especially during those times. I always grew up in like a very strict religion where they would almost make you feel like if you did something bad, you were being punished by God. Okay. And so when I went through my attack, I felt like God was like punishing me for something that I had no idea why I was being punished. And so I was angry. I was so angry at him, and I was just so bitter. And I played this like victim mindset of it's happening to me. Like he wanted me to, go through that. And so when I started this business, you guys, I had no clue it was Christian based. I had no clue that this was something that was going to heal me, like literally heal me. But I got started, and I had a lot of negativity. And when I started, does anyone on here have like people that are just like so hateful and rude about network marketing? Yeah, my whole town was like mean to my face. Okay. And I started my business out of ego. I wanted to succeed to show those people that this could work and that they were all just like losers. And so I was working out of ego, and I wasn't really I wasn't striving for success for any other reason than I wanted to show these people that I could actually do it. And so hear my heart when I say like working out of ego. Like if you're on here and you're doing the same thing, like it's okay to like start for you and like wanting to make money to pay your bills, but like it's so different when when the switch flips and you're not working just for you and you're not just working for other people or to pay your bills, and you're working for like a bigger purpose and for other people. That's when the magic really starts happening in this business. So in the beginning, I was working for me. I was working for my own selfish reasons, for wanting to look like I'm successful, to, all of like the materialistic things. And so I went Ruby in 2 months and I earned a $500 Ruby bonus, which is cool. They paid you out the half of your bonus. And then the second month, my team quit, literally called and canceled on the last day of the month. And so I didn't get the other half of my bonus and I became very bitter. Then again, playing the victim mindset, the company sucks. This is happening to me. God, you're punishing me. Like, I just was so negative, you guys, when I started this. And yeah. So I sat at distributor level for 6 months, you guys, after that happened. I sat at distributor level for 6 months, graduated nursing school, took my test, failed. Oh God, you're doing it again. Okay. I'm being punished again. Okay. And so when I failed my nursing test and I couldn't work as a nurse, it couldn't have happened at a more perfect time. And obviously it was God at the time, like doing it on purpose, and doing everything for me. Right. But my upline, she texted me and she said, I'm going diamond and I need you to be my emerald. But if you don't want to be my emerald, I'm going to use someone else. And at the time there was a diamond bonus and I was just like so competitive, like my red was coming out. I knew I had nothing else going on. Like I had to make money somehow. And so I just was like, okay, I'm in, pick me. I'll be your emerald. Let's go. And so I ran to diamond 2 months after I made that decision, you guys. All I needed was a little belief from my upline, that little kick in the butt. And I went diamond in 2 months after sitting at distributor level for 6 months. Okay. And after I went diamond, and I saw my first diamond paycheck. Okay. I went from like $100 distributor in monthly commission to like $3,000. Okay. My first diamond paycheck was pretty high because I had a bonus and I had signed a ton of distributors. And so I realized right then and there, and through the business, like I had started like hearing so much more faith things just through our company, through Zooms. And so I was starting to kind of like get back into this faith thing, right? And at the time, like I was struggling so bad still with all of my like inner demons, my anxiety, my PTSD. I did start going to a different church. I went to a new church. I was trying to like restore my faith because I kept hearing about it in the business. And um so at that time I was like, okay, God, you're working in my favor. Okay, I see you. Like you paused me from becoming a nurse so I could catch my vision with the company. Okay, cool. So I took my test again and I failed. And I just kept working the business, you guys. And it took me about a year to go from diamond to double. And in that year, I kind of was just bulldozing my team. Like I didn't really know like how to be a leader. I was working out of fear and not really faith because I was still working on my faith. And when I went double, I ended up becoming a nurse that same like time frame of when I went double diamond. And so that was the most money I had ever really seen coming in because I was working as a nurse, having a double diamond paycheck, and I just like got so complacent. I was like, I've made it. I'm making $10,000 a month with both of my jobs. Like, this is great. I've arrived. Like, I'm here. And of course, I stopped showing up. I stopped doing the things it took for me to get to double, and I lost my rank. I dipped back down to diamond, and it took me almost a whole year to get my double back. But here's what happened. When I lost my rank and I was pushing for double again, that year, like when I lost rank, I was so just like disgusted. I was like, why did I lose my business? Why did I lose these types of income? Like, I was just like, I have to get better. And so that year, I was committed to like figuring out how can I get better so I can make my team better and I can make my business better. And for me, I lacked leadership and I lacked faith. And those were the two things that I focused on growing that whole year. And guess what happened? That year of growing in leadership, I mean, I was just consumed with leadership. Every John Maxwell book, I was reading it. Any podcast leadership, I was listening to it. Anything faith-based, I was trying to absorb myself in it because I knew those were the things that I was lacking. And no one was gonna, like, I had to do the inner work. Like I had to do that hard work to get better in those areas. And so that year of working on myself and rebuilding, and I was mass producing every month, I was always a top enroller. When I got my double diamond back, you guys, in August, guess what happened? Naturally, I went triple diamond in September and I went presidential diamond in February. And that whole year of grinding, I literally, that at the beginning of that year, my diamond paycheck was $1,000. And when I went presidential, we were averaging $30,000 paychecks in a year of growth, a year of rebuilding, a year of hard work, like laser focused work. And what a lot of people don't know is when I lost my double diamond rank, I actually took a step back from nursing to save my business. And I took a pay cut from my nursing check to save my business because I knew nursing was draining and nursing was not my passion. I didn't feel fulfilled when I left my shifts. I felt drained, I felt exhausted. And I wanted to do this. And I knew if I could do it once, I could do it again. And I feel like so many people like saw me like walk away from nursing, and I didn't advertise it as like my business is failing so I'm doing this, but it was the best decision I ever made for my mind, more than anything. And when I went presidential diamond, that was the year that I became healed. And I went to Cindy Pentecost. I don't know, Claire, if you were there. I think you were there. She hosted a women's conference in Florida. Changed my whole life, you guys. I'm telling you. Her conference was right before I went presidential. I went there not even thinking I was going to get anything out of it. I went because I had a lot of team in Florida and I was like, I'm just going to go. It's going to be fun, whatever. I go to that conference, you guys. I kid you not. All of my inner demons from all of that had happened to me just were released. It was like this weight was lifted off my shoulder. Like the song that was playing was, what is it? What is her name? Oh, You Say. That song was playing. And it was just like, I had this freeing feeling of all of my, like, everything. And I just felt so free. And it was that New Year's Eve that I realized, like, I went through that so I could help other people. And God put it on my heart to start a community of women that have gone through those things and have, struggles with that. Because for me, I felt so alone through all of that. I didn't have someone to talk to. And I didn't cope. I didn't let myself cope with it. And so I feel like God sometimes uses us in this business. He gives us a platform. He gives us influence for a reason. And you don't always know your purpose when you're starting this business, but I promise you later you will find it. It's not just to pay your bills. It's not just to pay off your debt. There's something inside of you that you're going to be able to give to other people. That's like a gift. That's a passion that's going to impact people. And just know that through this business, like God's going to give you the platform and he's going to give you the influence to impact a lot of people. That's kind of like, I think my story, kind of long. Sorry.
No, this is exactly what we wanted and more, like just to have a conversation with you and hear your heart. So thank you for telling, like, those are the stories I crave, is for people to go in depth and like give us the details. Like, it's one thing to say, like, I sat at distributor for 6 months and then I went diamond 60 days after that. But like, for you to actually break that down for us and like what actually happened there, that's where we can relate and we can say, man, I've been there. I felt that way. Or, oh man, that's when like your gut wrenches because you're reading our mail because we've been there, in that exact spot. So thank you so much. Like, I'm so glad you went so in depth. And I'm sure that Sarah will have some questions too, but I know one question that we just really wanted to ask you was, what would you say? And I feel like you gave it to us in pieces, but I'd like for you to dive in a little further of like, why are you successful? And obviously you told us like that year of hard work and that year of growth. And I love that you said like, you knew exactly what you needed and you went after that, and you went after faith-based leadership. And I think that's so incredible. Like, you didn't just consume all the self-development possible. You were intentional about what you went after. And I think that's really powerful. And I think there's a success clue in that alone. But you, to me, as someone who's outside your business, are just like the picture of like utmost consistency and someone who is just relentless. And where do you think that comes from? Like you said, you were always a top enroller. You stayed being a top enroller. What is that for you? Like, what's that kind of secret sauce or system, or what keeps you in that space? Like making above average paychecks. And I'm glad you said what you said too. I just wanted to make a note, like those above average paychecks come when you're a high personal enroller. That's the secret. Like if you understand our comp plan, there are lower checks and there are higher checks, and the higher checks come when you personally enroll a lot of people. So in order to do that, what's that key for you?
So I feel like, don't get me wrong, I love the steps to success and I teach it to my team. But for me, I've always held myself to such a higher standard than just feeling my steps to success. Like I knew what it was going to take for me to find the people. I knew my ratios. Like I can't just sign 3 distributors and find 3 rock stars. Like I need to sign 10 people to find a couple like really hungry people that are going to be, producing. And so for me, I've always set the bar higher for myself. It was always, I'm filling my steps 3 or 4 times a month. And if I'm shooting super high, even if I fall short, I'm still above the average people that are only filling their steps. And so I've just always had that higher expectation for myself. And I think honestly, what allowed me to become a mass enroller was, like I said, I was not confident. Like when I had to go diamond in those 2 months, someone was talking to me about affirmations, and they knew I struggled with self worth, and they knew I struggled with all of these internal disbeliefs about myself. And I had never heard of affirmations, but she said, every day I want you to say out loud or write out loud, I am a mass enroller. I mass produce distributors. And so that's what I started doing. I started saying it out loud, and I started signing a lot of distributors. Like, I don't know if it was just like I believed that I could. And so I just did it. And it built my confidence up myself, like pep talking myself up about it. I don't know what it was, but for me, it was just like self aware of my self limiting beliefs, affirming what I wanted to be and what I wanted to have in my business. And then lately, with my faith being so strong, you guys, when I start a new month, I'm not like scrambling, like, how am I going to fill my steps this month? I know those people are going to be there. I know I'm going to sign people. Like, I already know that. I walk in faith. I work my business in faith. And I think that that's part of my success is I work in faith and not fear. And I had one of the best years of my business, not necessarily income wise last year, but the best years of my business because I had such a faith, and like I wasn't anxious every month, and I just worked with faith, and it was fun. And I just gave my business to God. And, I had a lot of fun last year. And I think when you have fun in this business, it radiates the energy, it gives the energy, and then naturally people flock to you because your energy is high. So I think sometimes people that are like too stressed out and too rigid, you're not like welcoming and like attracting people to you. And so I think that's part of it too, is just like good energy and working in faith.
What are the things that you do daily for your business? Like, do you follow KPIs or do you have your own 6 list? Like, what are those things that you make sure you're doing every day?
So with being consistent, and that's something like Kelsey Thornton is always like, you're the most consistent person. I'm very green and I'm very red. And I think that definitely helps having those color personalities being consistent because I am very just like, okay, check it off, check it off, check it off. I'm doing the things and I feel accomplished when I can mark something off my calendar. You guys, I'm so green that like I will literally, like, if I already went to the post office and I'm looking at my calendar, I'll literally write, go to the post office on my to do list and then mark it off after I already went. Like, that's how annoying I am green. Okay. I don't understand it, but it's how my brain works. I don't know. I like marking things off. So for me, I'm doing all the things. I try to do a TikTok and a reel every day. I grow my market I run 3 Instagram accounts and Facebook. So I'm growing my market on all my Instagrams and Facebook. I'm host to posting as much as I can. Not every day am I perfect, but I'm shooting for 10. That's like my daily goal on Facebook, host to post. And I'm messaging, I reach out about the business opportunity. I reach out about host to post. Those are the 2 main things I'm messaging for. And I follow up every single day. And I think that's part of my success too, is I scroll back through my inbox and I'll scroll back on Facebook until I'm like a month or two back in my inbox, people I haven't talked to in a while. And I just touch base with them. I'll say, hey girl, happy Monday. How was your weekend? Haven't talked to you in a while. Like I keep it so like chill, and then they respond and then I do my follow-up. So it's not so like cutthroat, like I'm placing orders. Do you want to order? Haven't talked to you in 3 months. It's just more like connection type based, like, hey, how are you doing? I just saw a picture you went on vacation. And then kind of going into the business or whatever. And so those are the things I'm doing. And I'm doing live videos. Video content is key. Content on your story and then live video like on Facebook.
I love it. Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm going to ask a question. First of all, I just would love to say that I'm so here for this vibe that you've created for us tonight, Taylor. I'm just feeling like calm. I'm feeling zen. I'm feeling inspired. And it's just like good. It just feels really good. I'm not alone in that. We're feeling very zen and I'm loving it.
Good.
First of all, thank you for sharing your story. This has just been incredible. I think that you're hitting so many different people here tonight, people who are brand new, people who have been in and haven't gotten where they're going, like where they're wanting to go, people that have been in and lost rank. You're hitting everyone tonight. So I'm your story is super duper powerful and thank you so much for sharing it. I love how you just went through and you listed all the things that you do. But I want to go back to something that you said when you were sharing your story. You said, and it was just quick, you might not even remember that you said it, but you said, I decided to start a community. And that just hit me. I think that, you were talking about enrolling distributors and becoming a mass enroller and how you hadn't enrolled distributors and now you decided you were going to and you went diamond. And you did that by starting a community. I think that that's such a powerful statement. And I would love to hear a little bit more about what that community looks like. You told us the things that you do, the boxes that you check, that you do for your business, but what does your community look like and how do you keep that, so strong on your team within everybody in it?
Yeah. So honestly, I feel like this last year with my team, it's been the best because I was intentional with where I was growing, right? And like I said before, I struggled with relationships. I struggled with friendships. I never would let anyone get too close to me. I struggled with love. I struggled with just vulnerability with my team for so long. And so my main focus was learning how to build relationships, which I know sounds so silly, but I was reading different books about connecting and relationships. And so I feel like this last year, our team has really been the most united it's ever been, even just through, I had a lot of leaders go through life crises all at once in 2020. It seemed like people were getting divorced, there was deaths, there was just lots of bad things happening. But through that, I feel like our community stayed strong. And I think Telegram has made such a huge difference within my organization because it's just so different. I don't know. I feel like when we had a bunch of Facebook message groups, it was very overwhelming for people. And for whatever reason, switching to Telegram has been so amazing for our teams and kind of how we have that structured. But as far as community goes, with our teams, things that we do, I am calling my leaders higher. We're doing weekly leadership calls and getting our key players on. So every week they're inviting people that are enrolling, that are showing up, any signs of leadership. I mean, if they're showing up, they're asking questions, they're enrolling, we're getting them in these leadership roundtables and calling people higher. And so I feel like that's been good to just let my leaders step up in that light. So we all collab together, which I think is awesome that all of our leaders can come together and everyone is so different at different ages, but it just all works. And I just don't tolerate any negativity, any drama. There's just none of that on my team. Everyone knows I'm the positive vibe queen. We keep it super positive and fun. And I think that, our relationship in leadership, it starts there and then it pours down into our teams. But I think what you were referencing to when I said community. So once I became super, I guess just healed of my situation after I left that retreat, God put it on my heart to start just a fund or originally I was I'm going to start a, what is it called? a nonprofit for women who have been sexually assaulted. Like I had this huge thing and it seemed so scary and big. And I was like, why am I trying to make this huge thing when I could just start small and just start a Facebook page and see what happens and it'll grow. And so that's the community that I started this past year. Or just this year, actually, I started it. It's called The Circle. And if you are on here and you want to join it, just search The Circle on Facebook and add yourself, okay? Because 1 in 5 women are sexually assaulted, and I'm probably not the only one that's sitting on this Zoom. So feel free to join our community. It's brand new, but it's going to be really good. I'm excited for it.
I love it so much. Being at Impact with you and getting to hear you talk about The Circle was just like, oh my gosh, we were all crying, you guys. I was just like so powerful. And I just think that's definitely like, when I think of you, I just think of like you being a voice and being able to speak out. And then, I mean, even when you were telling your story at the beginning, I know you may have not been watching the chat because sometimes it's hard to watch a chat when you're speaking on a Zoom, but there were so many people in the chat saying, me too. I have a similar story. I've been through something similar, and that's just in this space. So exactly like you said, 1 in 5 women, which means that there are quite a few women on here that have similar stories. And so I just love that you share that. And I think that's what's so cool about this business too, is we grow in confidence, we grow in leadership skills, and we grow in platform. And because of that, like if we're willing, God can do really big and special things with that. And that's like, you're just such a picture of that to me. So we had a few questions when you mentioned Telegram, like super squishing. It feels weird to like just jump back over to that. But I did want to ask you about it because I had a couple of people saying like, could we flesh that out a little bit? Like, what does that look like? How, like, do you have, I have Telegram, but I haven't even really used it. So just break that down for us a little bit. What are you using it for? How can we maybe start using it? All the things.
Okay, let's just like talk about systems. This is my jam, y'all. Okay, I'm green. Let me just like unleash all these systems on you. And if you want to take them and run with them, by all means. So before the beginning of this year, I got with some of my leaders and I said, how can we make things stupid simple? Like, I mean, new people can come in and there's a system that is just there and they can walk through it and it's stupid simple. And so I created a link tree. Okay. Everyone knows what link tree is. You link a link to the link and it has all these links on it. If I had $1 for every time I said link. Okay. So I created a link tree and I created there's 5 Facebook pages on it. Okay. So there's different Facebook pages. One page is for samples. It's literally, it has like 3 posts on it. No one comments in it. There's not a lot of notifications. It's walking people how to sell their samples. So like step 1, make this post on your Facebook wall. Step 2, send this message. Step 3, like it walks people how to sell samples. So we do that for signing new distributors. If they need to sell their samples, we add them to that page. It walks them through how to pre-sell their samples. It also helps new distributors sell their samples. The next link on there is a 3-day launch page. In that launch page is where people will go to the Telegram chats. Okay, so I have a Telegram chat for story and posting content. So every day, random people will put different story content in there, business opportunity posts. It's just a thread full of just content ideas for people to have access to. They're like, I don't know what to post, go to Telegram. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Another Telegram chat we have is for host to post. And all of the things that are in that chat are host to post scripts, host to post examples, tips on host to post, giveaway posts, like just all kinds of host to post stuff. Then the last chat is for newbies. So once people are getting started, they add themselves to that new distributor chat. People ask questions. We send inspirational stuff. We send our new distributor, Zoom codes in there. And it's just kind of a place for people to ask questions if, they can't get a hold of their upline or whatever. And so that's part of that. I will say that in Telegram, so I love it because you can have like these folders. Okay, shocker, I love to be organized. So in Telegram, you can create a folder and put certain chats in it, because if you look on Telegram, all of the chats are on this main thread. But if you create a folder, so I have like a business folder and I saved my host to post one, my story and posting content one, and my new distributor training one. So all of those main chats are in this folder. Well, then I have a folder for different legs in my business. So I have like one of my diamonds, they have their leg and their team chat in there, and their leadership chat is in that file. Then the other folder has my other leg and their team and their leadership stuff. And so it just is kind of nice to have it all in one place. And we know when we're opening up Telegram, it's for work, it's for business. And when I'm on Facebook, it's all work, it's all potentials, it's all like, you know, like signing customers. And I'm not distracted with like a million team chats. So that's kind of how that works.
I think you just like blew all of our minds. Like, oh my goodness. I like want to dig into this. I'm watching Sarah take notes and I'm like, good.
Oh, one more thing. Let me tell you.
Yes, give it.
So I have a folder. I have a folder that says Go Ruby. I have a folder that says Go Emerald, and a folder that says Go Diamond. And so when I have 3-way chats with people, so let's say I sponsor someone and I move them to their team, I have a 3-way chat with that person, and let's say that they're going to be that Ruby. I save that chat in the Go Ruby folder, and it's all about going Ruby. And then once they go Ruby, I move them to the Emerald one, and I'm just like categorizing the 3-ways through those like promotion chats, which has been kind of nice too. So I don't know if that's helpful.
No, I'm just a little mind blown. So I'm like, what do I even ask from here? Sarah, you're leaning forward. So if you have something to ask from here, but I'm just like, this is crazy. I like want to learn all about it. I like want to pick your brain. Everybody in the chat is like, take my phone. I'm on my way to your house. Like,
so green, I know.
I mean, I just feel like anytime that anybody can like get a system in place where all of your potentials are in one place and all your team is in another, like you said that, and that just blew my mind, that your Facebook and your texting is all your potentials. That's all your potential customers and potential distributors, and your team is all somewhere else. Like, that's amazing. That means you're not going to lose anything. I lose stuff all the time in my messenger. Like, all of a sudden 3 days will go by and it says like 3 unread messages. And I'm like, where are these messages? And I scroll way down and there they are, and I'm missing stuff. So that is just, I mean, my mind is blown. I've never heard of this. So thank you for just like flippantly being like, oh yeah, Telegram, like no big deal. And we're all like, I'm sorry, what is that? What were you saying?
Well, your Instagram people, like I feel so sad. Like I used to feel so sad when I would sign someone up from Instagram and there's like no community page for them. And like, this is a place where everyone can be. And with Facebook being Facebook, like if it gets shut down, I have full contact with my team. I have full contact with everyone. Like Telegram is not going anywhere, right? And you can have hundreds of people in one chat. Like there's no limit. So I love Telegram. And one last thing I want to give you guys, because it's been a game changer for my business, honestly. And it's almost like insurance on your potentials. Because if you were to lose your Facebook and you didn't write down every person you talked to, they're all gone, right? You have no way to contact them. And so one thing that has really changed my business so much, and I utilize it so much, just like everyone has a influencer application where people can fill out for information about the business, I have one for products, you guys. It's just called a brand reviewer application. When someone comments on a host post, I message them. They say yes, they want info. I say, hey, can you fill this form out really quick for me? And then I'll get back with you and give you my recommendations. They fill out the form. I get their email, their numbers on it, select all that apply, better sleep. Even I want to make more monies on there, like all of the things, want longer hair. And they fill it out, and I have all of my potentials logged on my brand reviewer form with their contact information. Like that's not going anywhere, right? Like if I lost my Facebook today, I have hundreds of people that have filled out my form, and I won't ever have to like worry about like, how am I going to contact these people, you know? And honestly, I'm not working in fear, but I just know I've had issues with my Facebook lately, and I'm like, I just want to be secure. Like, so I have people fill that out, and I post it like in the comments of my product posts, and more people fill it out than they do comment. So just a place for people to get information in private.
Girl, you are so smart. I just feel like drop a 1. I don't ever do this, but drop a 1 in the comments if you're going presidential this month because of Taylor Kaufmann's organizational wisdom here. Oh my gosh, I'm like blown away. I'm literally blown away. This is life. This is incredible. When Claire and I were talking earlier today, you know, we were just like, gosh, you know, I feel like I see Taylor and she's doing this stuff and we can tell she's a boss, but like, what is like the thing? Like, we need to know the thing. I feel like we just found the thing because you have like all the things like down pat. That's incredible. And I love, so many of us are getting potentials from TikTok. Most people from TikTok think Facebook is like for old people like me, and they're not even on it. They're like, Facebook is gross. Like, I don't even want it. But a new app called, what's it called? Telegram. Like, yes, sign me up. So that's amazing. That is like literally so smart. I'm just so obsessed. I don't know. Claire,
This is what happens. I just am dying because I'm like, this is what happens when we bring this like young, hot thing onto a Zoom with all of us. Like, that's with a team that's led by us in our mid 30s, like moms in their mid 30s. Like, sorry guys that you're led by moms in your mid 30s and we didn't know what Telegram was.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, this is why we need Taylors in our life. It's fine. This is so good. I'm so excited to dive into this and learn about it. I have one more piggyback question, and then I think we're good unless other people have questions. But so you mentioned like you have all your potentials through your application. Obviously, I know, like I've done that. I have I'll export everybody. But how are you like keeping track of your potentials? Do you write them in a notebook? Do you have them in a spreadsheet? Like, how do you, like when you're going to follow up with people, where's that list and how's that looking?
So if I'm not looking at my influencer application, I have like on my iPad, like usually when I'm crunching out work. So I work my business from like 5 to 9. That's when I knock out like all of my messaging, like all the things, most of it. And so as I'm like seeing conversations or seeing people that come on host posts, I just write their name down in my iPad, and it's just like a follow-up sheet, and I just keep adding people's names. And then when I do my follow-ups, I just kind of either go off that list or I'll get back in my applications. And then as I save people's numbers in my phone, I always put like PLC for potential loyal customer or PDT. So that way when I search in my contact list and just type PLC, they all pop up. I know that, what's it called? Connect app, same thing. Like I just never got on that train because I just feel like I always had a system already down. But if you use the Connect app, like you could literally plug people in and make groups, and it's so simple to follow up. I know a lot of people on my team do that. But that's really what I do, is just write it down.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. This has been so good. I feel like you dropped so much information that maybe we don't even totally like, we need to like go process, but I'm really excited to go process it. And I just want to say, because the team's like blowing us up, I just want to say, we're going to learn this, you guys. We'll learn it. We'll figure it out. Please don't blow up Taylor. Please respect that. You can blow us up, but please don't blow up Taylor. And please don't ask her for her Telegram link. We're going to respect that boundary as well. But I saw a bunch of people trying to ask it in the thing. We'll get one. I promise. I know right now she's the cool hot commodity, but we'll get on that train. I promise. The one final question. You mentioned you read so many books on leadership. Give us like the one that you love to recommend, like your favorite.
Oh my goodness, so many. Let's see, probably John Maxwell, The Leader Within You. I think that's what it was called. It's red. It's one of his newer ones. That one was really good. And Leader Shift was really good by John Maxwell. There's a small one on Amazon that's actually so good, like for any level of leadership. It's called, Great Leaders Evolve. It's like a small little white book, white and orange. It's really, I think that's what it's called. Relentless was a good one for mindset and just getting that kick in the booty. Success Commandments was one of my favorite ones. What other leadership? Oh, so many. No Limits. That's a good one by John Maxwell. Oh my gosh, that was a really good one. I don't know, anything John M., you're going to be like, needed this. I had one of his workbooks that was really good. I didn't know that I bought the workbook, but I think it was Developing the Leader Within You 2.0 workbook. That one was really good.
Awesome. Oh, I love that there's a workbook. I like that. Lindsay wants to know, do you read or do you do Audible?
I have to read to process it. But I listen to audio, like if I'm like working, I just don't really like take away things. I have to like highlight it and like absorb it, you know what I mean? Like underline it just so I know like And I feel like it's good to have it in front of me because I share it on my like timeline. I share it on my story to people. I share it to my team. And that's another thing, you guys, man, if you just stay consistent on your platform, like whatever you're working, like understand people know what they're buying into through your what you're doing. Like if you're showing up every day and you're putting out like for me, and I'm not saying you have to do this, but I love sharing like snippets of what I'm reading and I love sharing like the personal development stuff because some people don't get any and what they're getting is from my page. And that's how I think for my team too. Like most days they're probably not getting self-development, but they see it on my story and then they're getting, some good stuff. And so people know what they're buying into. And so stay consistent because people will want to know like, dang, like she's on, like she's doing this thing, and I can trust her because I know that she's always showing up. And I feel like that's part of why I'm so consistent too, is because I want my like people that are watching me, like I want them to feel like so confident knowing they're joining someone who is consistent and can help them, know how to do this.
Wow, that is so good and such a good point. And I love that you said that even your potentials are seeing your self-development and they're like, man, she's so wise. Like she's someone I can look up to. That's really, really good. Well, I just want to pray over you if that's okay to end it.
Thank
And just bless you. And this has just been so good, like so good. Thank you so much. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for Taylor. Thank you for just letting her be so generous with us and share with us tonight. And I just ask, Lord Jesus, that you would bless her business this year, bless her because she has just so selflessly shared like her tips and what's working for her in her business. And I know that as a business owner, there can be this temptation to guard the secrets that we have that are helping us be successful, but I don't get any of that from her. She's just free and open and generous. And I'm asking that you would just repay that to her and just bless her, Lord. I pray that you would just fill her business to overflowing. I think of the verse in the Bible where it talks about the storehouses, like you won't even be able to hold it within your storehouses. I pray that for Taylor. She has the systems in place. She's ready to receive that kind of increase. And so I pray that increase over her business in 2021, that with the generosity that she shares, even with her Instagram page, and everything that she shares for all of our teams and what she shared with us tonight, that you would repay that to her in her own business, sevenfold, tenfold, that she would just be completely overwhelmed with the blessing that you pour out on her because of her faithfulness here. And we pray specifically over the circle and the ministry that she's doing, that you would just guard that, Lord, that you would just be protecting her as she walks into this space of just loving and pouring out on people that really, really need it. I just pray in your name that you would be filling her every single day with your spirit and that you would be walking with her as she goes into these hard spaces and loves people through the hard things, but that you would just bring beauty about through it, Jesus. Thank you so much for Taylor. I just am so excited to watch you bless her this year, Lord. And I just thank you for her in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you so much, Taylor. We seriously you just meant so much to us tonight. So thank you. Thank you.
And I'll send you my brand reviewer app. I think someone wanted it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Have the best night, guys. Thanks for getting on.
Bye, guys.